Warning: the following episode contains themes of addiction and addiction-related abuse. Listener discretion is advised. Last time on Desperate Attune, the crew were mobilizing for the next phase in the war against the falling star. Ustad Klev had joined the club at the Ruby Jetty by replacing the man he'd killed in a duel, and he'd used his new position to cut Saida off. Furthermore, his daughter Mylera was stalking Bundervest, with an intent to shank any member of the Rising Moon caught out unawares. To bolster their ranks, the crew approached ex-Rising Moon swordswoman Mona Darling to convince her to return. She'd been grievously wounded during Rama's disastrous assault on the Chakravarti temple years ago, and now hid those injuries behind a painted mask she'd found in the depths. Unbeknownst to her, the mask had been blessed by the King of Liars, and was slowly transforming her face in its own likeness. Now, having found a stable job in the mines with fewer occupational hazards, Mona wasn't interested in taking up the sword again, but with some needling from Clem, words of encouragement from Mushfiq, and a reminder from Bidrohi of the sister she'd left behind in Bundervest, Mona came around. Shortly after, the crew was visited by Giscard, Moss's contact in the Silver Nails. He'd heard the crew was in a spot of trouble and offered to help. Clem, distrustful of the Silver Nails, immediately rebuffed him, but Saida, figuring that they could use all the help they could get, took Giscard out back to have a chat in private. There, Giscard revealed that Rakis and its exes. Shortly after, the crew was visited by Giscard, Moss's contact in the Silver Nails. He'd heard the crew was in a spot of trouble and offered to help. Clem, distrustful of the Silver Nails, immediately rebuffed him, but Saida, figuring that they could use all the help they could get, took Giscard out back to have a chat in private. There, Giscard revealed that the demon princes Rakis and Ixis were in the middle of a power struggle, and the crew had been caught up in it. Though he didn't know the details, he further explained that the death of any Falling Star members in Bundervest would benefit Ixis. By killing them, even in self-defense, the crew would be falling further into Ixis's hands. Unable to move against the Falling Star directly, the crew had to try a new approach. They learned that 3 of the Falling Star masters, Ankia the Veiled, Ranveer Rao, and Mylera Klev, would be attending a show put on by the Blue Smoke Troop, and they decided to attend as well, to pick them off one by one in a game of social engineering.
Uduasha City, where the sun is a mirror and the moon a shadow, where dancers cavort in forbidden operas, making love to forgetting and flame, where the wealthy play at war with silver swords and silken sashes, where the people mine the dead heart of a burning star for cannonballs and pipework, and where 1,000 secrets hide in a forest of paper and ink. Here, the 5 keybearers reside, the 5 who know the secrets of the broken gates of death. 5 only. There is no 6th spire, forlorn and forgotten in the desert. There is no one who looks to the displaced, the poor and destitute and landless, whose ancestry has been stripped from them by foreign looms and foreign sparkcraft, and no one has ever heard of the House of Ending. But this is their story. Their roots pulled up and burned, they stand in filth up to their necks, and that is precisely why they must keep their heads ever high. Welcome to Uduasha, immigrant. May it fear the name of the house you will build. Welcome to Desperate Attune, an actual play podcast about characters with their identities in peril, played by an international cast devoted to fiction-first gaming, collaborative world-building, and complex character drama.
We're going to an opera. We're being fancy.
You're going to an opera. You are indeed being fancy. And so, there's one immediate consequence of this desperate thing, and only one of you will suffer the immediate desperate consequence. But as a side effect of that, you are going to be split up as the score starts. So, what we cut to is a nice venue, and I wonder, is this an Ash Cloister? Yes, I think it would make sense. That is the entertainment district. But we have seen so much of the Chipped Cup, so I don't think it is that. You know what I think it is? There is a pillar in Ash Cloister called the Old Pillar, which is a platform on which only the masters of the art dare perform, because you're traditionally supposed to scrutinize those on the pillar. It's basically used as a trial by fire, like a graduation test for poets and artists and performers. And I think we are around that old pillar. I don't think anyone of the blue smoke troop is ascending it now. Because being up on that is like, drawing the spotlight on yourself. Yeah. But there is this open air area around it where this opera is being performed. And, particularly histrionic or attention craving people might climb it as part of the opera, but they're not on it as we start.
That's good.
So it's this open air sort of like amphitheater thing with old pillars standing around. It's like very much the ruins of a previous thing. Down in the amphitheater, the opera is being performed. Mumtaz is doing the main aria, and there have been some booths set up, which are like shaded with, I forget the word now, but you have flappy cloths on top that look fancy and frilly. There's a word for this, but anyway, shades basically that are set up for people like the Ustad whose name I immediately forgot, the Veiled, Ankia the Veiled. So she is up there, seated with a couple of the other like guests of honor, and this is totally also where Tamira is, Clementine's rival, also up in like the VIP booths. But it's a relatively open performance, right? So like people have to buy a ticket to attend, and the tickets are like fairly expensive, but it's not a completely private thing. So on the steps below them, there's a crowd of onlookers, and there's your usual like hodgepodge of things. Like there's the chai guys, the people who just turn up and like sell tea or sell snacks, wandering around. There's some security around the people up top, and there is like very little privacy aside from in the VIP booths. And so as this score opens, one of you has had an opportunity to approach the VIP booths. One of you has found a way to like get up to Ankia. And I will let you volunteer who it is.
I mean, I think the one who makes the most sense is the person who's dating a member of the troop.
So Bidrohi.
But if someone else would want to go in there, then we could swing that instead.
I think the key thing here is that it should not be Mushfiq, because Mushfiq is, wanted by basically everybody.
He's Captain Mackerel.
But Captain
He's a
Mackerel
very
isn't.
desirable man.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
He's Captain Mackerel. And I think it makes sense also for Captain Mackerel to actually be approaching Hambirao, who is security.
Yes.
And so
Correct.
there are two areas of relative privacy here, basically. There's this VIP area, and there's like the backstage where Hambirao and the rest of the security is, right? Making sure that the performers are okay. They have like a wagon set up with their things. They have built some temporary lodgings. They probably are using parts of the old monastery that was here too. So there are these like low buildings that the performers can disappear inside. And that's where Hambirao is hanging out. So Mushfiq is probably over by that area, by Hambirao.
You know what? Tell you what. There was probably a very brief conversation where Bidrohi, and he was like visibly sweating. He'd be like, Saidanti, I have spoken to Mumtaz. You know Mumtaz, my girlfriend. She's in the blue smoke troop.
We have been introduced, yes.
Yes. And he's like uncharacteristically nervous. You've never seen him like this. And I spoke to her, and I got her to agree to introduce you to Ustad Ankia. I think you should be the one to go.
Okay. This is okay.
Auntie, can I be honest with you?
You must always be honest with me, Bidrohi. As you know, there are no secrets between one and another in a crew.
Okay.
I
have had the world's biggest crush on Ankia the Veiled since I was 14.
Yes. Does your girlfriend know this?
Yes, and it's fine. That's all I'm going to say about that. Please don't ask more. But the problem is that I don't think I can be there and do skullduggery up there with her. I don't think that would go very well. You should go. You are smooth, you are collected, and you don't give a fuck.
Excellent. So, Saida is going with Mumtaz into the VIP area for this introduction. And it makes sense for Mumtaz to handle this introduction. So the two of you are going in there. I think Bidrohi is just kind of hanging out in the audience where he can see everything that's going on with everyone else. So he can look down towards the performers and sort of see the area where Mushfiq is. And he can also look up to the VIP area and sort of see the area where Saida is. Clem, I think what makes sense is that you would be with Mushfik and talking to the security guys, but it's up to you.
Yeah, I would like to make it known that Clem has visited and probably paid way over the odds for a cup of chai.
Yes.
Nice.
Excellent. So you have your chai.
Mhm.
And
I think we're hanging out together.
Okay,
think
very
that makes
very
sense.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Clem and Bidrohi are having chai, Mushfik and
Mhm.
Saida are the two people doing the approach. Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And so where we open is we see, like, the first cut here is we see Saida head into under these they're not called tarps. It's a fancier word for tarps, but like these tents, I guess.
Mm.
Like big fancy circus tents, and they're arranged into, like, buildings. You can pass from one to the other, and you can get to Ankia the Veiled. So you're passing through one, and then someone is going to put a bag over your and Mumtaz's head, or at least they're going to try. And this is where we
Yeah.
start.
Mm.
So
Right.
you are on the approach to Ankia. Someone is just straight up trying to kidnap you. What do you
Yeah,
do?
the funny thing, I was going to be like, I've never seen Saida interact with Mumtaz. It'll be a really nice scene to hear what they were talking about as they go in.
Well,
Indeed.
you
Um,
may have
yes.
something to talk about, but it will be under pressed circumstances.
Great. That's totally normal and fine and cool. And I'm gonna do something totally normal and fine and cool in response. Which is that as I am having this bag placed over my head, I am going to mutter, Prince of Endings, save me. Because it's very important that praying to the Prince of Endings, A, is part of the thing that people can do. It's part of the practice, but also B, that it works, right? Like that, like when you pray to the Prince of Endings, Saida believes that like it's going to need to work, right? So I think that like what they're going to do in this moment is be like, I am literally going straight for divine intervention, because when it works, it's going to prove that it's always worked.
Okay, so
Only God can help you escape from a bag over your head.
Also, I think part of the reason they're doing this is that this really feels low stakes to them, right? They're like, oh man, are you fucking kidding me? This? Yeah, don't even worry about it, right? Like,
okay, well, it
On my
is
way.
desperate. It is desperate because the engagement rule told us so, and you don't have the ability where your god can incarnate and act directly in the world. So for that reason, this is limited. Like, it's still possible because Saida is Saida, but without this special ability, it won't have full effect. So you will get a chance. Maybe it will just be coincidence if this works, but there will be an opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think.
Yeah, before we do that, should we just declare our loads?
Yes.
Oh yes, I'm in light load because it's a party, and I'm an old auntie, and I should not be carrying around heavy weights. Apart from my sash, no comment. Yeah.
What about Clem?
I'm going with normal.
So you stand out a little bit. You won't be able to blend in as a party guest exactly. Yeah. Good to know. I think you can still like be here, but yeah, you will be conspicuous. What about Mushfik?
I think I'm gonna go for normal as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
You are not planning on being seen, I guess.
No. And I mean, with that coat that Mushfik's wearing, like.
Yeah. Very good. And Bidrohi is also light, I assume.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason I'm standing next to Clem, so that she can look like my bodyguard, because I'd be a guest.
Yeah. And we can cut to Bidrohi and Clementine. How this is going to look to Bidrohi and Clementine is basically like Mumtaz and Saida enter a tent. They are supposed to come out on the other side and go into the next tent, and now probably they won't, right?
Yeah.
So you will find out in a second. Yeah. Or we'll see.
I will push myself for effect here.
Okay.
Because I just like the idea of getting to standard. My ability just says speak one and he will stir. So who the fuck knows what that means? Maybe he's stirring some sugar into his tea or something. And the other thing that I will do is, you tell me if this is an okay devil's bargain, but like, I feel like we're drawing Mumtaz so much in, right? Like, it just makes more sense to let her in a little bit more. So I don't mind her like understanding that something is going on here, that like there is something to do with this like Prince Kathak.
I will give you a harder bargain than that. It's not enough that
Okay.
she finds out something. When you speak these names, you can give people's visions. If you're okay with giving her an overwhelming, debilitating vision, you can have a die.
Okay. Yes.
Good.
I think.
So this
Maybe
is like the
then
first
withstand-
2 words you've exchanged with Mumtaz, which is like,
Yes. Yeah.
she's just through this tent. Let me just take you there, and then debilitating vision. Okay, good.
Yeah. So then maybe with standard effect, it's going to be that whoever's put the bag on my head is also going to have a vision.
Yeah, quite possibly.
That's the intervention, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Attune.
Yep, makes sense.
Great. 3 dice. So desperate.
Desperate Attune.
Standard.
Mhm.
Can I assist?
Yeah. I also get 1d to speak the name of a god for my purpose. But yeah,
do
go on.
you need an assistant? How many dice are you rolling?
You don't. I'm at 4, so the 5th dice doesn't make that much difference.
I'll save the ability.
Yeah,
then.
save your stress. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now, watch Tree roll only 3s or something. 3, 4.
I'll
3,
take the
4.
4. I'll take the
34.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, the straightforward combination of the standard and the desperate here is
We all get debilitating visions. Sorry, keep going.
something along those lines. Actually, what's going to happen here is that you are going to sort of get a bit less effect, a bit of a mixed bag with regard to your desperate consequence. What's going to happen is they put a bag over your head. You speak the name. They drag you out of this tent into some dark place that you didn't see. Maybe some kind of secret tunnel, secret entrance, or something. Mumtaz is immediately debilitated by this vision. You are dragged into the dark, and then there is this strange intervention where the person who was dragging you, yeah, you know what? It is the Prince of Endings. The person who was dragging you hears the name and has a heart attack.
Yes! This is exactly what I want. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh yeah, you fuck with me, I will heart attack you to death. I will write your name in my little notebook, and the death note will make you go by.
It's probably just like, it could be just a coincidence. They are exerting themselves, strenuous activity, dragging someone inside, hot day, all of that.
Yeah, you never know.
But there are 2 consequences to this. First of all, the person who's having a heart attack is not like dead yet. They're having a spasm. They are like dying as they're holding on to you and as they are dragging you. And the person who's dragging Mumtaz is fine.
Right. Yes.
So they are just carrying on ahead. They're like, whatever, my friend seems to have a cough or something. I can't really afford to pause and check if they're okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Is the desperate consequence here that like I am not fully free and Mumtaz is getting dragged away? So it's like 2 risky consequences.
Yeah, you are not fully free, and Mumtaz is getting dragged away. I will also point out that the person dying is kind of a consequence too, because you were supposed to avoid that.
Yeah.
But
No,
Saeed
that's true.
really said avoid killing people.
Yes.
Yeah, but we were told not to do that in Bundavest. We weren't told not to do that in.
That's true.
We're not in Bundavest.
Yeah.
Right?
Well.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 consequences. I suppose you can resist either of them.
The famously legalistic and upstanding house of Annexus will definitely buy that argument.
Totally be fine with that. Yeah. I am going to resist Mumtaz not. I'm going to resist Mumtaz being dragged away. I think what I want to do is I don't know how to do this, but I want to make the one who's dragging Mumtaz away concerned that their friend is apparently having a heart attack, right?
Okay. Well, I guess it's as simple as struggling with them, right? Making it seem like they can't handle you on their own. So fair enough. You can resist it with prowess, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So roll prowess. 6.
It's a 6. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very good.
And so you still have a bag on your head. You're still wrestling with the other person, but you hear a woman's voice kind of hiss, now what the hell's going on? Shh. Poisons or something? It's fucking lamp black tactics.
Mm.
And
Very good.
Mylera Klev has Mumtaz.
Yes.
And she pauses.
And I
She will
think-
remain within range.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I
I'll give
think
you
what
one
I
more
want to
action before
do,
you get away. Mhm.
yeah, because this is like, I think this is a great moment to cut. Is I'm gonna mark. Like, there's no way I'm going anywhere without my fine demonette first.
Mhm.
Right? Like it's with me at all times. Because if I remove it, the demon in it gets very agitated. So I
Yes.
can't really afford to. It's possible I sleep with it now.
Mhm.
And what I'm gonna do is, as Mylera Klev says, "fucking lamp black tactics," I will say, "Oh no, these are rising moon tactics," and I am going to, like, even though the bag is over my head and I can't see anything,
Yeah.
purely out of instinct, because she said it, I'm gonna use like my sense of hearing to like swing the sash at her, not to like kill her. I just want to disarm her, which is I want to get her to like let go of Mumtaz.
Okay. So, I will put you at desperate 0. I think I was going to put you at desperate limited, but you're blind. You are lashing out at the person who's coming at you. However, I will give you a devil's bargain of doing horrific collateral damage to the person having a heart attack to make this go from an accidental death to like, you're swinging around a bladed weapon with them like right behind you. So
I'm gonna spend 1 stress because when I'm an Ustad of the Rising Moon style, and when I spend a stress, I may disarm my opponent as an effect.
Yep. Okay,
right?
that brings you up a limited effect. So you can disarm her off Mumtaz. That's your goal, right? To get her to drop Mumtaz.
And I can spend another stress to move unimpeded. So what I want to do is move unimpeded off the bag on my head.
Yep. Okay, sure.
So
I think with these 2 stress, how we'll frame it is you will be a desperate limited still in terms of like the one effect you will get is you will get Mumtaz free. You will also, if you spend the second stress, just be disentangled of the person who was holding you, so they stop being a problem. I don't think it really helps you deal with Mumtaz, but it does mean that you can like move around freely again.
Yeah.
So you just overcome that obstacle for free. So desperate limited then.
And this is a skirmish, I think, right? Cool.
Do you take the devil's bargain of doing collateral damage to your kidnapper?
Man, I think it's a really good devil's bargain, but I'm not going to take it because Saida knows that if there are deaths, they better look like, oh shit, bad luck. They cannot afford to look like I went and shanked somebody. So until I get the ability to induce heart attacks at will, I'm going to have to not do this.
Don't shank anyone with the demonette sash while you're under a demonic geas.
Yes.
No comment. Desperate limited. No bonus dice. Let's go.
Yes.
It's a 2.
A 1 and a 2. This went poorly.
Yep.
So I will give you a choice, actually, here. And this is an out-of-character choice entirely, but it says something about Mylera Klev in this situation. It's caught out of her depth. This is not the Dosco she's used to. Does she take this opportunity to get away, or does she take this opportunity to stab you?
I think she takes this opportunity to stab me, because if you run away in Duskwall, A, your reputation goes down, but also B, it means that somebody's chasing you, and you can't deal with them.
I have questions here, actually. That might inform your choice. So, we shouldn't be blinded by the fact that Mylera Klev is kind of like a household name in Blades. This is J. Klev's daughter. It's not a coincidence. And J. Klev is like your ancient rival. Do you know Mylera? Did you see her grow up? Does she know you?
I know of her. I don't think we ever really met or hung out necessarily, right? Like, when Jay and I fought, she was probably like a really little kid, 6 or 7 max, right? And I've seen her at a distance, but I don't think Jay would ever permit me to like actually be around her, nor would I wish to be around her either, right?
Okay.
And I probably think she only knows me as someone in the Rising Moon School, and maybe my dad fought them one time, but like there's so many people that like Mylera's dad has done that to. I don't necessarily know that like I stand out in that list. Jay stands out for me. I don't know if it's true the other way around in the way that like some rivalries are. And like maybe I'm still like a thorn in his side, but I don't know if like maybe he's got like a swords rival who they've been fighting for like 40 years and it's like legendary, right? I'm definitely not that.
Yeah, and we also don't know what their relationship is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so if you go with her stabbing you, then there's going to be two consequences here, two separate ones.
Mhm.
The first one is a
Yeah.
level 2 harm as you get
Mm.
stabbed. It is not level
Yeah.
3. She's not trying to kill
Oh,
you. The second
nice.
one is a temporary level 3 debilitating harm of the poison, because fucking lamplight tactics, right? You're gonna use poison, I'm gonna use poison. So
Yeah,
there's going to be
absolutely.
debilitating pain, and
Yeah.
it's not like you just get knocked out, but you are going to have like, liquid fire through your veins, utterly
Yeah.
incapacitating you. So
I think I will
one normal level 2 harm and a temporary level 3 harm.
Yeah, I will mark armor against the poison, I think. And the way that this is, the way that I'm imagining this is that it's not, because I am in light load. So, I mean, we get some extra load because we have the ability that gives us extra load for armor and weapons. But also Saida's like an old auntie type. So I think that what they've actually done is they're wearing probably some kind of like leather or something, so that like when I get stabbed, not all of the poison like gets straight into me. Like there is
get a
some
small
resistance.
Dose. Fair. So then you take
so I
two
think
level
it's
2
like,
harms. One
Yes,
temporary,
makes
one
sense.
permanent, or one lasting.
Yeah.
You can frame these however you like. One of them is just pain, and the other one is a stab.
Pain and panic.
Yep.
Yeah. Great.
And
So as this happens and I get stabbed, I'm gonna hate everything, and we can move because when I come back, I may well murder this girl.
Yes, we shall cut back to Bidrohi and Clem, who have by now noticed, I think, because again, this was very fast. They were passing through like a small tent, right? So they go in, you follow them with your eyes, you expect them to come out the other side, and then they don't, and then they don't, and then they don't. And I don't think it takes more than, it's not minutes before this is suspicious. It's like 30 seconds and this starts to look suspicious, right?
And I've looked at the guest box where we would have expected Mylera Klev to be up there, right?
Yeah.
And she's clearly not. Put two and two together, and I turn to Clem and say, we should get over there right now. I fear something really bad happened.
After you. After you, then. Let's move.
The issue
This child is
of course,
shit anyway.
Yeah, the issue is, of course, that there's a guard standing outside of that tent because you're only allowed to enter with VIP access. So he may or may not have known what just happened behind his back. Maybe he completely doesn't know at all, but he's been told not to let anyone in.
So what is this tent?
Yeah, so basically I'm imagining this tent is like more or less the entrance to the VIP area where you go in, you're under shade, you can grab like a glass of water on your way through, like a welcome drink kind of thing. And then you step through and you walk out onto like the private, again, they're temporary boxes. All of this is like rigged up outdoors, right? But then you walk out on the other side. So it's basically like a checkpoint that you go through. There's a guard. And it's not like there are fences everywhere. You can enter other ways, but it's really obvious if you enter through any other route, right? It's like, at festivals, they have these little low fences that they put out. It's not like you can't jump over them, but people are watching. People will see you jump over them. You're meant to walk through this tent to get in.
Okay. So I head towards the tent. Yeah. Head towards the tent. And do I know this guard? Like, is he like a blue smoke troop guy?
I think he is... No, I think he's some lower ranking Falling Star member, actually. It makes sense for him to be...
Interesting.
To be put on this kind of duty. Because, again, the Falling Star paid for this. It's like their show as much as it is the Blue Smokes.
Okay. So I go up to this guy. And I'm going to just be like the kind of... I'm just going to give him a nod. And I'm going to... I know this won't work. But I'm just going to give him a nod. And I'm going to act as though I can just walk in.
Yeah. And he says, like, sorry, sir. Invitation?
Invitation? Oh, of course I have an invitation. And then... I wonder if I actually can get one. Like, I'm dating a star. In
Yeah,
the
I
blue
think you
smoke group.
can, and you
Yeah.
gave it to Saida. I think that's what we established.
Hmm. Okay, can I do some sort of
Yeah.
roll or flashback? Oh, sorry, Tim, do you have an idea?
I was going to flash back and see, could I have set up a meeting with Tamira? I think a lot of the hatred here is from
nice.
Clem's side to have maybe talk about coming back on the payroll.
Okay, we can absolutely do this, but it's a whole scene. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just a brief flashback. So we'll flash back to it and we'll see how it goes. It's a scene with stakes. It's a scene that can go wrong. So, absolutely, you have come hat in hand to Tamira's estate. And I guess Tamira is from Sunfall then, which means she probably has her shop or whatever, her business in the foreign quarter. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're flashbacking to a market with some sort of business. She's a hedonist, so I guess most of her money is from. Actually, does she have an honest business at all, or is she just like a dilettante?
Oh, business of pleasure. Business of pleasure, baby. She just indulges a lot. She's the dealer that indulges in her own product.
Okay, well then I'm going to go off of your inspiration and say that she imports wine. She's a wine merchant. So that's the not just wine, probably like all sorts of alcohol. That's what she deals in. So yeah, you will have a meeting with her in a hot office in the dim evening foreign quarter, and she's seated behind a desk surrounded by like shelves and shelves, racks of bottles on every side. And describe what she looks like.
I'm feeling I'd like to establish that at Sunfall a lot of people do wear headscarves. I think it's kind of a cultural tradition, a mix of Severossi and Eruvian. So she's also wearing a headscarf, very artlessly placed about. I think Clem has taken a lot from her, and she's got her heels up on the table. She's got an open bottle of wine, no glass.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's got to be like effortlessly beautiful, but in like the I don't know why, but I'm picturing like Jamila Jamil, that vibe, like statuesque.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So statuesque beauty, but also a slob is the is the vibe. Yeah. So she spits out the cork for her bottle and says, "Well, well, well. Clem coming crawling back. What a pleasure. What an absolute pleasure. Are you here to grovel?"
Would you like me to?
We don't have to get on with the formalities. So, you've stolen from me. I assume you have. I'm establishing that you have now.
Yes.
I don't suppose you have the merchandise still?
I sold it to pay my way here. But I only took what wanted to come with me.
Yes, of course. She looks slightly sinister about that, lowers her head, and she says, "And what brings you to Uduasha, of all places?"
The view? Would you believe that?
Yeah,
Getting away from Sunfall?
She narrows her eyes and says, "What view? We're in the desert."
There's a goddamn flaming star in the middle of the city with a floating eldritch tower with a mirror on top.
Yes, the city is very fancy.
Has this person ever seen the desert before? Like,
yeah. She has, and she's sick of it. I think is the reason why she frames it like this. Yes, desert can be very beautiful, but she's traveled them more than she is happy with. She's a fundamentally lazy person.
Fair enough.
Reminds me of home.
Yes. So why are you here? I mean, in my office, not in Uduasha. I assume you're not here for the view, although you could be. I look stunning today.
course as ever. I'm looking for some sort of deal. I need money. You pay well. I think it was Sunfall anyway. Doesn't agree with my constitution.
You expect me to hire you after you robbed me blind?
You always like to spitfire. I'm interesting.
Yeah, I think now is where you make a roll of some kind to see if this works.
Absolute confidence of somebody who casually just says, "I'm interesting."
Mhm,
Like, I mean, that's what you want.
I mean,
Can I
you're
assist you?
definitely compelling to Tamira.
Can I assist you?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Would you accept such a thing? Would you have
Sure.
told me about this meeting in advance?
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Clem
think-
trusts these people.
Then you should say, please make sure you mention that you are working with famous international badass Shere Khatam.
Bonus die from working with international badass Shere Khatam. Okay, I guess
Mhm.
maybe I don't think she has heard of him actually, but I think she will
What?
assume that this is a.
Hot boy.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
roll for it.
imagine being told that you can hang out with Shere Khatam.
Why don't you roll for it and then we'll see
Yeah,
if she's
it
heard
depends on
of
the outcome.
international badass.
Excellent.
She
Okay.
better. She better have.
Yes. So, okay, you have a bonus die from the assistants, and I think your position and effect. So what you want here is basically just like an ability to enter the VIP area, which
Yeah.
I think you can do with standard effect. And I think it's risky, and the risky consequences. I mean, you will have to do a job. You'll be hired for something, and it won't be being a badass bodyguard
Fortunate.
necessarily. You can go for great effect if you want to have control over it, like if you want to push yourself a trade position for effect or something. But I think risky standard with the risky consequence of, Tamira's in charge.
You know what? Another thing that occurred to me about Shere Khatam, mentioning Shere Khatam, is that she may have heard of him in the sense that there's wanted posters for him.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Okay, excellent. Then I will give you the devil's bargain, if you want to take it, that she is interested in the ransom money on one Shere Khatam, and that's why she hires you.
Yes.
I think that's very exciting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely interesting.
Okay.
Cool.
Sure. So then you have
bonus die.
you have two bonus dice, and Tamira not only knows about Shere Khatam, but is actively trying to catch him. This is
As all men and women in Uduasha are for various reasons.
yes. So risky standard unless you want to modify it.
If I swapped position for effect, if I went desperate, what would that look like?
So with desperate great, with a great effect, you would get basically whatever job you want, the ability to access the area. She won't impede you or tell you what to do. Desperate means she will get a complete background check on you. Like if you wanna fuck her over, you will find it extremely difficult. So the desperate thing here is to go yes, I live in this. She will ask you, where do you live, and you'll have to go I live in this place. Yada yada. These are my contacts. She will find you basically.
You can
resist that desperate consequence, obviously, but that is what it will be.
You can also color it by literally groveling, as she suggested.
Yeah.
I have to tell you that if you grovel, you will be expelled from the Rising Moon School on account of we don't fucking grovel.
Yeah. I don't think the groveling is interesting to her. I think she's sly enough that she goes I want to guarantee you're not going to fuck me over. And so basically it's, yeah.
I think I think I'll go risky, but I am going to push myself to great. That does give me one stress off the trauma because I haven't indulged my vice, and I was very terrified of traumaing out in front of a silver nail. So it's fine. God. I'll just trauma out second session in. New record, baby. Good. And I feel like this is probably a consort here. I'm consorting with this connection from my background.
Yep. So, risky, great, 2 bonus dice.
the temptation to go desperate extreme too much, but I don't think Clem would want to compromise the rising moon.
Mm-hmm.
Bastard.
1 and a 2. Okay.
Saida, jinxing.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry to say. Yeah,
Wait a minute. Is that with your 2 bonus dice? Didn't you have any dice?
I don't have any dice in consort.
Very good. And you don't get any bonus dice because this is your rival you were consorting with. So very good. What will happen here is that she is going to totally give you an what she says is an invitation that you are going to realize in this moment is not an invitation. Like, it's in an envelope. It looks like one, but it isn't. And the risky consequence is quite simply, okay, so you're an associate of Sher Katam. Interesting. Someone should be watching you to see if you interact with that fellow. So Tamira's bounty hunters are now in the scene as well. Unless you resist it. So like the consequence happens in the now, which is when you realize that this was all a ploy. Tamira just set you up so that she could watch your movements and catch Sher Katam.
That's
Fuck it, yeah, I'll
bad.
resist it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to resist it because Clem would.
Okay.
She would not want
Then
this.
then I guess you have shaken your tail. So like you figure out that you have been followed. You figure out that you've been duped. But yeah, let's see. If you trauma out here, then I guess you are probably busy shaking your pursuers actually.
Yeah. Sounds like an insight resist, I think.
It sounds
to
like
understand,
resist,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's deceiving me. Cool. Let's fucking go. Well, I saved 3 stress. I do trauma out.
Good.
Yeah.
So as you're about to go up and follow Bidrohi, you see Tamira's thugs, and probably it's not even just Tamira's thugs, it's your former co-workers. Like, you used to work with these people. They were part of her security team, as were you. And they go like, that's fucking Clem. And you have to shake them. Like, you have to lose them. So the good news is they won't be finding Sher Katam. They'll be too busy chasing after you. And we can cut back to exactly why this confrontation with them traumatizes you. Actually, let's not cut back to it. Let's do it now. Let's keep the spotlight on you. So, you try to evade them, and then you run right into one, and you feel his rum breath, because most of the people Tamir employs are heavily alcoholized. That's how she keeps them loyal. And it's a large, ragged, beardy Severosi man. Who should have a name. I'm going to name him Tamerlane.
Nice.
Recently watched The House of Usher.
No, I was just thinking Tamira Tamerlane.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a cool name.
It is a cool name.
Yeah.
So, maybe he's related. Maybe that's why they share a first syllable. I don't know. But yeah, Tamerlane, big, shaggy, ragged man, comes face to face with you. And growls, like, so, you think you just run off to Uduasha, is it? Heard you had a talk with the boss, but you ain't had a talk with us.
Pleasure to see you again, Tam.
No, it isn't.
How's the wine? How's the... I think, at this, Clem's like, very much looking over it, but he like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And I think to establish your trauming out here, I think it's necessary now to like, how did you screw these people over? I think this will be the basis of your trauma. It'll be like something that happened before, but it's brought back to you now.
I ran off. I ran off first. They didn't get the chance to run off after me because I went first.
Okay. So you like screwed up their plan to get out of Tamira's business.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You seem to have a bit of a pattern of running away, I would say. Yeah. So yeah, he growls and he goes, Listen, I wasn't able to get out. You got something here in Uduasha? Well, good for you. Good for you. I don't know anyone here. Don't even speak the fucking language. And he like tries to take a swing at you, but he's too drunk. And like the threat you're under here is not, You're not under any physical threat. You realize that like you can take these guys easily. The reason this is traumatic is like you see what has become of them. These used to be like proud warriors like you, and Tamira has reduced them to helpless drunks. And that's why this is traumatizing. And so I think we'll leave there. We don't have to dwell on the misery any further, right? But like you can easily fight your way free. But you become aware of what sort of person Tamira is. She is a dealer in alcohol and drugs in the very worst way, and she has no problem ruining people to their very core.
What a lovely person.
Yes, and you tried to do business with her, so that's good.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of doing business with her, so I
Yes.
think I am.
So Bidrohi,
stopped.
it turns out you're alone.
Yeah,
Clem.
I'm stopped, and my invitation is asked for, and I already gave the invitation away. And like, if I had more time, I'd like bullshit my way through it. And I think at some point I realized that Clem, who said after you, didn't in fact come after me. I don't know what the hell happened there. And this man, I'm just going to walk past him, and if he's going to, and of course he's going to try to stop me again. And then I'm just going to kind of duck under his arms and just kind of like do some sort of like weird twisty thing, and then I'm just going to disappear into the darkness of the tent and just rush after them. So basically, I'm just going to be literally, I'm going to slip out of his grasp.
Okay, so there are two steps here that are actually kind of challenging. Mylera, in case that wasn't clear, actually slipped out of like a somewhat secret entrance. She used the darkness of the tent and like some hanging drapes and whatever, that it's not immediately obvious where you can run and hide. I just want to make that clear. So first it's a finesse roll to slip out of this guy's hands.
Sure.
To slip inside the tent and maybe even hide in the tent, but you won't necessarily find Saida right away. You'll probably hear her, to be fair, but
Okay.
There's not like an open door you can walk through.
Yeah. First thing is to get past this guy and to kind of like lose him in the darkness of the tent. And then I can decide what I want to do.
Yep. So
what's my position?
And it's risky standard.
Okay. Feats of finesse are unusually impressive. So this guy will be like, damn, he's good if I succeed.
Yep. Absolutely he will be.
Yeah, risky standard, right? Okay. Do you have a Devil's Bargain? I could push, but do you have a Devil's Bargain?
Okay, yes. Devil's Bargain is they prepared for this eventuality, and this guy who appears to just be some novice or whatever is actually a real badass red sash sword fighter, and you're going to realize in the moment you slip past him, like his fake mustache falls off as he tries to catch you. And he's one of your idols.
Oh yeah. Okay, very cool. Is one of my idols. I now that you say that, I want to turn this into Desperate Great. Where I know what how I would turn it desperate. I don't know how it'll be great. The Desperate would. He's going to find in his hand one of the like sort of like cigarette case cards with his name on it that he signed for me as a kid when I was a kid.
Excellent. Yeah, sure. The reason it's great, I think, is simple. You just happen to pick a hiding place that is the secret entrance. Like you just happen to duck behind the drape that is concealing the tunnel.
Yeah. Also, like I'm sure he's also touched by it. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Like he sees how old it is.
I guess make this roll, and then we will introduce this guy.
Yeah. I hope this works. It didn't work.
Okay. Excellent. So he raises the blade at you, and he goes, "Not so fast, Bidrohi." And he says it in his theatrical voice at the Colosseum. He pulls off his fake mustache, and you recognize Ranveer the Black Blade.
Ranveer the Black Blade knows my name?
Yes.
I yell out because I just can't, I just can't.
Yeah.
Bidrohi before this moment. Oh no, literally everybody else in my party appears to have disappeared. Bidrohi after this moment. Oh my god, my hero knows my name?
Yes.
Lovely.
Mumtaz is with Saida, auntie. He'll be fine.
he draws his signature black sword and points it at you. And I think that there are two consequences here. One of them is like the jig is up completely. He knows that you are not supposed to be here. Like your cover is completely blown. That's consequence number one. And consequence number two is that you genuinely get stunned by Ranveer's dazzling presence.
Okay. I would like to roll resolve.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I would like to roll prowess. And the
Uh-huh.
way that works is,
Yeah.
and I'm going to resist being stunned by him. And the way that's going to work is
Yes.
I'm going to immediately raise my own sword and kind of like, ha!
Yes.
To be worthy of him.
Excellent. Okay,
Yes.
roll prowess, and
Yeah.
you will just be in a sword fight with him. Your cover is still blown.
Yeah. We'll see if it I mean, sure, we'll be locking blades and so on, but I do want to talk to him as well. But we'll come back to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
A 6.
Yeah, I'm
Very
always
good.
ready to draw swords.
Not stressful. Yeah, you cross sword.
I
with
cross
Ranveer's
swords with-
legendary black blade. Mhm.
I cross swords with Turzan Diamond too. I can cross swords with this guy.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And so I guess as you cross blades with him, I'll establish that he's known as Ranveer the Black Blade, and he is also called the Domineering. His thing in combat is that he tends to completely he likes banter, and he takes over the situation. He's like famous for taking control of things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will also point out, just for everyone to realize what's happened. We are in a score where our job is to turn the luminaries of the Falling Star School against each other.
Yeah.
And you have just given me a luminary of the Fallen Star School right in front of me. Very good.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
I'm well aware of this.
Yes, good,
but
good.
there
good,
are
good,
some
good.
complications.
Yes, I know.
However,
but I'm just pointing at the
before-
silver lining.
Yes. Before we
Mhm.
cut back to Bidrohi's continued banter with this guy, though, I think we should catch up to Mushfik.
Yes,
And I think
absolutely.
a cool way to rope Mushfik into this, actually, is that, I mean, Clem happened to run into these, drunk bounty hunters, right? And so I think Mushfik, it makes sense that you see the scene. You see, Clem defeating these guys. And so rather than cut into you and oh no, you're in trouble, you're surrounded, I think it's interesting to push on this relationship between Mushfik and Clem, where you become witness to her fighting with her former friends. So Clem, and to be clear, you're out of trauma now. You can mark your trauma and be back in the action. Let's keep it short.
Yeah.
Normally you're out for a long time, but it's boring in this situation. What trauma did you mark?
Vicious.
Ah,
Nice.
makes sense. And so what do you do to these drunks, or these drug-addled wrecks that come after you?
I think it becomes very obvious to Mushfik that Clem could just step out and bang these two's heads together and they'd be knocked out. She doesn't do. Yeah, so they don't do that. They I've got my fine shield. Fuck it. So yeah, just absolute humiliation.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't kill them. You kick their ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
clarify.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, we don't kill them.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Mushfik, you become witness to, and I think you can probably see Hambirao nearby, and he's going to hear this and come investigate it. There is still some problem, but you catch it first, and you see Clem completely trouncing these two men.
I think Mushfik just goes in
Mhm.
it's just instinctual, right? He sees someone even if he's not known Clem for a long time,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think this is something that's been ingrained into him. You see your comrade in trouble, you help, right? So Mushfik comes in and but I mean not very honorably, if whoever's I suppose he just comes from the back and then flying kicks someone in the back just to,
Yeah,
Oh my
absolutely. One of them flies away with a broken rib, crumples to the floor, and I think you get the same sense of these. These were great warriors once; they're not anymore, though.
yeah.
Yeah, and you come face to face with a traumatized-looking Clem
Yeah.
after the two have fallen over.
What do I see in Clem's face?
I think they get up from having been kind of sitting over the one of them she's knocked prone and just like turning face into meat. Gets up. I'm sorry you had to see that.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry you had to see that.
Oh, I've seen far worse than that. This one's still breathing, and that one probably is too. So,
Should they not be breathing?
let's leave them breathing for now. They don't look like they're going anywhere. Someone will find them. And
Okay.
though I suppose, I mean, who are these guys?
Nobody.
Nobody. Well, I mean, what we used to do in Kethris back in the day sometimes would be like, if we captured one of their scouts, like we would intentionally not kill them, just so like they would then send friends to come and rescue that guy, right? And then you capture all of them too. So, we could dangle him up somewhere, like so if people get a good view of him, and then anyone else comes in, we'll be, we get him as well.
These people were looking for you.
Oh, again.
If you want me to kill them, I will. They cannot. They shouldn't be coming after you. Make an example.
No, so out of character, I don't think like making an example of these guys will really do anything, because Bushra's got far more like dangerous people after him. So he's like, I think she's gonna no, small fry, right? Like we'll let him go. Like
Also,
if
most
they're-
people
if-
know that they know about Shirekatam.
yeah. It was, yeah, it's alright. We'll let them go. If we're to send a message, we have to send a message to someone higher up. Yeah. But okay, but I think after all that, at one point, Bushwick will realize that even though he's seen far worse than this, it doesn't look like Clem has. So like, and maybe it makes sense for his character to not understand that. Oh, you don't spend like most of your life like just locked in like a guerrilla war where like you could die any second, right?
Yeah, he also does not understand that Clem has been fighting their former friends. To be fair, that's probably also something that colors this, right?
Yeah.
But I think also as you're having this conversation, Hambirao, who is security, is coming to investigate this. So
Excellent.
the two of you are going to come face to face with Hambirao Klev. And do you want to continue the conversation first?
Is it Hambirao Klev?
No, not Klev. Sorry, it's not Klev.
Okay.
I mixed them up. You're quite right. He's not related to J. Klev.
Okay.
No, but him and
He's just a
Mylera
member
have been in a secret on again, off again for the last 10 years, haven't they?
Oh yeah.
His name is actually Hambira Ankayat. He is a noble originally. We found that out. So.
Okay, so it's always something. Does Clem look distressed? Like can Bushwick tell like if she is Clem like distressed, or like because is it a front like where Clem is saying like, oh, we can finish them off?
I think it's legitimate anticipation to do so, given that Vicious,
Okay.
is just waiting for an excuse.
All right. Okay. This is something which people have seen before. It's like, come, just look away. It's over, right? It's over, right? It's done. Like, I don't know who these people were. I don't know why they were after you, but it's done. Like, we don't do and we don't do that. And I think what that is like clearly implied. Like, we're gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't do that. Okay.
No. I would look. Believe me, like as much as anyone I know what it feels like to have that rage to fuck all these guys up, but we can't, right? We don't do that. Not while they're like just fucking lying on the floor like that with their ribs broken in. Like it's over. Like
It's
I guess
over.
It's over. Let's move.
So
Yeah. And yeah, are you trying to avoid Hambirao as he comes your way, or are you
No,
fine
I think-
with him catching?
I think we're just. I guess what Mushfik's doing is just kind of like seeing that, like the bloodlust, kind of like being there, and it just goes like, look, no. This. Let's not make this any worse than it has to be, right? Like, let's keep it as clean as we can. Let's move away, and then I guess Hambirao can't just be coming around the corner.
Yeah.
Remind me, like, so what did we decide with Hambirao? Are we say what was the angle? That
Basically, the angle was to find anyone who wants to split
defect.
off or like
Okay.
abandon this observation. And Hambirao is already inclined. Like he doesn't really care about killing you and your gang. But you wanted to have a conversation with him to see if you could like get him and more people to peel off.
Does Hambirao recognize Mushfik, or is this Captain Mackerel?
You are in a disguise, and I don't think he's got special skills at seeing through disguises. In fact, in his scene with Moss, he even said he's bad at subterfuge. So I think he looks at. I mean, what he knows is there has been a fight, and you two are still standing, right? So he comes around, looks at you, and goes like, "Okay, I don't know what your deal is, what your beef is, but." Holy shit. And I guess he'll see the beaten up men on the ground. And you didn't kill them, but it was also kind of a vicious fight. So
yeah. And Mushrik says, "These landlubbers attacked us for no reason. I've not been on these shores 5 minutes and
yeah.
And already this is the kind of hospitality you show to an international traveler such as myself."
We have shores? Apparently geography is not his strong suit either.
The far shores.
very far shores.
Right. Anyway, this area's backstage. I'm sorry they jumped you, but are you with the performers? I don't think it's unreasonable you could be with the performers. You both look kind of exotic, so.
Salty, what do you think? Are we with the performers?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah. Let's go with it.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
of course, I'm not really from the shores. I'm in character, obviously.
I'm the bodyguard.
Yeah.
Playing the part of the bodyguard.
Mm.
Yes, for the opera.
You guys make a sway group action.
Oh my god!
This is a meta disguise because I'm telling him my disguise is my character that I'm playing for the show.
Yes.
Yeah. You're in disguise. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So I think you can totally get into the opera and maybe speak to him at a better time. I think that's the angle here, right? You maybe don't want to have this conversation with him right now.
All right. Yeah.
But get him in a better mood. So yeah, I think it's a group action sway. It sounds like it. And if successful, you will get backstage access to Hambirao and to the performers if for whatever reason you want to talk to them.
Sure. I guess I could lead it since I started the conversation. So what is this risky standard or?
Yeah, risky standard.
All right.
Well, I'm going to push myself for a die.
Yeah,
Or what would a devil's bargain here be?
I have not seen it away, so I've got to do something too.
Okay. I can't think of a devil's bargain for both of you, but I guess I can throw out one that one of you can take.
Yeah.
And I think is that interesting enough? Okay, yeah. I will throw out the devil's bargain, and it has to be for Mushfik, because it's only for Mushfik it makes sense.
All right.
Which is that your disguise will fool Hambirao for the moment, just because he isn't expecting to see you. It will not fool Cherubino, who is backstage.
Excellent.
Right.
I was going to ask that Cherubino be a devil's bargain. Very good.
Yeah. That's it. I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cool. I'll push myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see it. Ooh, yes. It's a 6.
Nice.
That's a
Nice.
1.
So Captain Mackerel, take the stress, but this just worked.
Salty's
how-
building a brand.
How many stresses do I mark again?
One,
One.
One.
because there was
Okay.
one failure.
You can mark more if you want.
No.
That's
No,
not.
you're not allowed.
Jeez.
Don't do that.
So Hambirao just waves you backstage, and I think the funniest way for this go down with this devil's bargain is you walk in and you just see like backstage, like Hambira stays behind to like deal with the drunks, just drag them outside, right? Like, what the hell happened here? Probably get them a doctor or something because they're really fucked up. And you guys just walk in backstage and you just walk in on Cherubino being paid by one of the Falling Star Sword School people.
Oh my god!
Really funny if you just catch him in the act.
God damn it! Just absolutely wreck his shit.
Yes.
He's being
What's
paid.
he doing?
by-
What's he doing?
He's just being paid by the by like someone from the Falling Star Sword School. They're just like giving him some money. I mean, it could be
I
for
see.
anything, but I think that's the funny
Yeah,
way
sure.
to
Could
catch
be
him.
for anything. Could be for anything.
Mm.
So someone.
Tree,
who
no one
wears,
wants to have
like, a
sex with this man.
Yes, an elegant
sorry.
an elegant and handsome Falling Star Sword School member is giving him a very nice, handsome payout. And to briefly introduce Cherubino, he's an acrobat. He's like very boyishly beautiful. He's like small and slight of frame, and he's one of those people who's very childish in nature. So it's not like, he isn't even like a teenager, but he's one of those people who looks eternally young and kind of behaves it too.
Hmm.
So
And
yeah, he's
and
like,
yet still absolutely unfuckable.
yes, a slight boyish young man being paid, and he looks over at you and says, "Oh, Jerikatam."
No, this is
damn.
Captain Mackerel.
I mean, you took the devil's bargain.
I know.
But
This is just the
but I
character.
think he's sly. Yeah, I think he's sly enough not to
Yeah.
to immediately call you out. So he goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, my mistake."
Yeah.
And this is my friend Kumar. He points at the obviously dressed like red sash agent guy.
Yeah.
And just tells an equally bald-faced lie to you. And there's just an awkward standoff, I guess. What do you do?
What do I do? Like, Mushfik doesn't have much of a history with Cherubino.
No,
This is just
he's just one of the opera troupe members. You know he's an
Yeah.
opera troupe member, and
Yeah.
you know that there's
I've complained about
Falling
him.
Star guy right
Yeah.
there.
Quick flashback. I'll be like,
Mhm.
okay, Cherkatam, I'm dating Mumtaz, right? The beautiful lady, she came over. Okay, there's like one person in the team is called Cherubin, and it's like a fucking like piece of shit. I'm pretty sure he listens in at the door when we have sex, okay? Like absolute pervert, okay? Like absolute weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would know who he is, and you would feel the necessary contempt for him.
Yeah, and I mean, you were in a play with this troupe, so you would have at least
Right.
recognized him.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you would have heard his name in reference to the guy. You probably didn't talk to him back then, but you were like, "This is Cherubino," and then later Bidrohi told you Cherubino's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, and a pervert. And I showed you the poem he wrote about Kethris.
yeah. And in this
yeah.
flashback,
Mhm.
yeah, and in this flashback, as Bidrohi says all of that and shows a portrait and then leaves, I think Mushfik stares into the blank space for a while, and then he just goes, "The fuck was that about?"
Yes.
That's just me talking about my life
Yeah.
to my friend.
But now it's all coming back, and he goes, I've heard of you.
Yeah,
Cherubino, right?
Yeah. Yes, the acrobat.
The
The
acrobat.
voyeur, the pervert.
Yeah. You're very good at getting into.
Clem also knows about
Uh-huh. You're very good at getting into.
All right, so like acrobat, how very good at getting into. I don't know, like places you're not supposed to be. Then I guess, huh? And I think, well, I mean, it didn't come out the way I wanted, but you know what I'm like.
Yes, he goes,
Yeah.
is there really some place I'm not supposed to be? Anyway, I don't think you're supposed to be back here. This is backstage.
Of course. What do I look like? I'm here to perform.
Oh,
Who's no voyeur?
another quick
You're here to
flashback. Sherakatam, if you go backstage and anyone questions you, say that you are a backdoor man.
Okay. All right. I am, and I think Bushwick does say it with a lot of confidence. He goes, "I am a backdoor man."
He looks over to his friend, quote unquote Kumar, and he goes like, "See, I told you." Anyway, you should probably get out of here. We have performer stuff type things to do. Okay, have a nice day. See you around. And
oh my god! Don't let this happen, guys. Please don't let this happen. Please, I'm begging you.
Let what happen? What are you afraid of?
This man is not gonna. He's gonna just walk away.
I mean, I don't know what you expect me to do because
I don't know, like something.
Could
Like,
I attempt to ruin his reputation with the
Insofar as
falling star?
insofar as this can be done.
Okay, you can absolutely attempt to break up the relationship between him and quote unquote Kumar, who is not appreciating being called quote unquote Kumar, by the way, and is very unhappily playing along with this.
What's wrong with the name Kumar?
Yeah, mostly that
That's
it's
not
not
his
the
actual
famous
name, I
name of a
think.
famous
Oh, I
falling star sword school.
Yeah, I
School
think that's
swordsman.
literally it. Yeah.
if we would just want to embarrass Cherubino here, I think that the angle would be Kumar then, right? It goes, so Kumar, yeah, like Kumar, is it? You guys close?
I think this is enough for him to be offended. And yeah, let's throw in my other prepared like falling star guy here. So he goes like, I don't know what he's on about. I'm not Kumar. My name is Shah. Don't you recognize me? And he turns around dramatically. And we get a splash screen. I guess not that I think either of you know the celebrities here, right? But
Listen,
Sure.
you guys have hung out with Bidrohi, okay? I have
Yes.
told you in exhausting detail every single
So-
one of them.
splash screen is like Shah, the gold blade, the handsome.
Yes. Yeah.
And then his stats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we see the
Just
idol card.
56 inches.
And I don't know who you are, but you should recognize me. I'm a big deal.
I don't recognize you.
I think
You
I'm
recognize him?
I don't, but I'm gonna go the other way. And it goes, oh, of course. See, I didn't recognize you because you had your with your back turned, and it's just, Mr. Shah. I didn't expect like someone like you would be hanging out with Cherubino over here.
He's a pervert.
Yeah,
Neither
like
would I. I don't go
That's
into
why
these
he's hanging
backdoor
around
shenanigans.
backstage.
like
That's why he's hanging around backstage.
yeah.
He's a
If you need to go to the restroom, make sure you lock the door real good.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Yes.
I think it's a roll here now. Actually, like I don't think Shaw has anything against you, but I think you're trying to wreck Cherubino. So it's
Yeah.
like some sort of risky standard roll to completely make Shaw lose all respect for him. He didn't have a lot to begin with, but
Would you like me
Alright.
to lead this group action?
Mhm.
Sure.
I'd like to group action wreck this this person.
Oh, so this is right, is it? Because we're
I
destroying
feel
a
like
guy.
yeah, we're destroying this
Yes.
guy.
Frick. Perfect. Yes, group action wreck it is.
So some chaos and make some noise. That's also part of wreck, yeah?
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
would you say destroyer applies here? I am not affected by quality or tier when I destroy,
Yes.
sabotage, or smash something. Cherubino's
Absolutely.
reputation.
Yes, absolutely. Cherubino has a good
This guy.
reputation. You are not affected by that. You're good at destroying things.
Cherubino has a good reputation.
He does, actually. I mean, he has a good reputation as an acrobat.
I see. Sure. We'll see if we can like Houdini his way out of this one.
Yeah, we're sowing some dissent here.
Yes, absolutely. I think you're set up for it. So risky standard, and the risk is mostly the Cherubino will have opportunity to act.
I'm not going to take any bonuses.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
I think I might push myself. I've got some stress to burn and only 1 point in wreck, so. Oh, whoops. No, I'm gonna do that again because my bonus die didn't go through. So.
Okay.
Just roll a d6.
No, it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Just roll
4
it,
and 4. Yeah.
Okay. So you succeed in wrecking Cherubino's reputation, and this just works. Like, it doesn't work in the sense that you destroy it for everyone, but you totally get Shah to be like, yeah, I knew we shouldn't have dealt with this fucking guy. And the consequence, unless you resist it, is that Cherubino will just, I mean, he knows who you are, and he's just going to tell this guy, like, by the way, the people you paid me to rat out, yeah, it's them. So,
Yeah. I mean,
No,
the
I think-
Falling Stars people know exactly who Shere Khatam is because he humiliated them in public in their arena.
yeah. They don't
Yeah.
like Sherikatam. They just don't
Mhm.
recognize you at the moment. So,
Yeah.
unless you resist it
No, I
somehow,
will.
Cherubino's going to tell him.
I will. I think I'll just resolve it first because I think what's gonna happen is just as like I can like we can feel the vibe of changing like in
Yeah.
Shah. He's just gonna step right in between like before Cherubino can say anything, just step right in between them and or just like gonna kind of put a hand on his chest and just firmly not just push him away like like as if he was a crate like all right you're done here.
Shove
Yeah.
him backwards towards Clem. Okay, sure. Roll your resistance roll. And
All right.
Ooh,
okay. Not bad.
And I think
Six.
Shah speaks instead. You take 1 stress. Shah looks at the both of you and he goes, "Oh, thank you for warning me about him. It's beneath us to work with a weasel like that anyway, and a pervert. It's all just, I don't know why, but one of the big bosses, Ustad J. Klev, he has it in his head we have to deal with some farmers. It's beneath us all, I think, but anyway. Don't know why I'm telling you this. I just find the whole situation suspicious.
Oh, I feel you, man. Like, I mean, you like, what are you doing? Like, what foreigners are these anyway? Like,
seems suspicious to me.
Yeah.
All up in arms about this.
Can I set you guys up here?
Yeah,
with
sure.
a flashback?
Yeah.
So as I said, like I told you, I think because I've been in character, I'm a huge fan of the Falling Stars school, so I know all about them. But I think I would maybe, I don't know, I would like to know something that's particular about Shah, like some sort of like weakness or some sort of angle that you guys can work here that I would have also told you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just makes sense for you to know this, but it can be a setup action, sure, actually. So make a setup action with something like, I don't know, study or survey or something to know about them.
Concert.
Makes sense.
Concert. Stadium gossip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and let's call it a flat risky standard. I don't think it's to give them a setup action here.
Okay, and we have high society, so we get +1 extra dice for gathering info about the city's elite, and I think these guys come.
He definitely is, yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay, do a setup action risky standard with a +1 die. This also gives me some time to think about what his deal is.
Ah, nice. High society gave us 6.
Okay, so Bidrohi has told you about Shah, and I think his big thing is actually I think he's very concerned with his reputation. Let's have it chain into why he was so like averse to deal with Cherubino. He's like, it's not that he's vain exactly, right? But he's very, very concerned about having a spotless reputation. He like hates when people talk behind his back. If you really want to make him mad, it's like, someone insulted him or someone said he's not honest. He's like, he cares about his reputation and he's very forward. So, like he said, he doesn't like these backroom dealings.
Okay.
You should take back the thing about being a backdoor man.
Is it enough, or do you want something better? I think it works.
I think that's good. I think that's good. Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So to recap, like, he doesn't like shady backdoor dealings. So he is like, okay, very honorable warrior type.
Yeah, very honorable warrior type, and like concerned about his reputation more than anything else. Like maybe he would cheat if he was sure no one would ever find out about it, but he would be mortified to be accused of it, or be accused of dishonor.
All right, let's accuse this man of dishonor. Okay, so I was going like, who are these foreigners anyway? Like,
yeah.
So
he shrugs and says, I don't know. It's something by the Ustad that I don't really understand. He has beef with someone, some old grudge that must be settled. It's not really my kind of work, and frankly, it's a little beneath us to go beating up peasants. And he's like insulting you, but he doesn't know that he's insulting you because he doesn't know who you are. And I think there's an angle here if you want him to break off on this whole plan. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And Mushrik just puts one arm around his shoulder, like where he goes, man, like I totally feel you, man. Like I mean, you're telling me this, and I can't believe it. Like this guy, just because of his own like personal grudge, he wants to take your entire school to beat up some peasants. Like, I mean, I couldn't. Like, someone was gonna like do this kind of like, flex their influence and get me to do this shit. I wouldn't live with it,
I like how when you're having a heart-to-heart, you default back to Mushfik vibe voice instead of the Captain Mackerel accent.
Yes. Yeah. Well, he's having a real heart-to-heart. Yeah. It's great. I think you're just set up to act here. I think you can like. It sort of makes sense. This guy was just caught like doing bribes and then being caught by these performers, and the performers go like, "Yeah, it sucks. You have to do this."
Yeah.
I think you have position to actually talk him out of it. So you have standard effect. So. You've been set up by Bidrohi. You have risky standard to get this guy to abandon pursuit of the Rising Moon Sword School.
Can I say that this is consort and not sway?
Yes, I think you can. You're leveling with him.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, like, because I'm not lying to him. I think I do feel him, right? It's like, he might not know that.
I think it can be consort, risky standard, and
I'm with Justice too.
Okay.
I have a very funny devil's.
Okay. Yes.
Clem assist. Yeah. How is Clem assisting?
I think chiming in, like, yes, I think it is extremely dishonourable for you to be beating up peasants in the street. Is that the great golden blades?
Excellent. Okay, I have a devil's bargain from Mushfik.
Yeah.
And I'll he'll say something like, "Yeah, I'll think about it. Anyway, you'd better go out on stage." And your devil's bargain is, in order for him to buy the story that you're an actor, you have to actually go out on stage in the middle of the opera.
Of course.
We know that Mushfik can act, so that's fine, right?
Yes.
I feel like my last performance was cut short, so.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I just find it funny that it's a devil's bargain of
Let's see it. Oh, that worked. Okay, that was handy. 3, 2, and 5.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the devil's bargain that sold it, clearly.
Yes. So he goes like, "You're right. You know what? I'll talk to what was her name again? Ankia? Yes. I'll talk to Ankia. I'm out. I've had enough of this. I'm going back to the arena." And he's just going to walk out of this score and walk out of this problem.
Is he an Ustad, by the way? Because if he isn't, he would say Ustad Ankia.
Yeah, Ustad Ankia, yeah.
I'm asking because I want to know if he's an Ustad or not.
No, I don't think he's an Ustad. These are like celebrities, but they're not the Ustads.
Okay, so there's only 3 Ustads.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Makes sense.
So he is going to like walk away on this, and Ustad Ankia's some of her best people are going like, "Fuck this shit. You're working towards your goal." And I think the consequence, unless you wish to resist it, is simply that like he walks out and leaves you guys on stage. I think let's chain it into the devil's bargain.
Lovely.
So you're just basically.
Sorry, but like, is the devil's bargain not going to happen either way? Like, I have to get up.
No, the devil's bargain is going to happen either way. I'm telling you, the consequence is that both him and Cherubino and like everyone is going to abandon you. So you don't have any. You don't have basically anyone here that you can talk to or ask for advice or something. So it's a fairly mild consequence, but it does mean that you're a little bit high and dry, and crucially, you're not aware of what's going on with the rest of the crew.
This is you and Clementine.
So basically, to keep it simple, the consequence is losing time here. You won't be able to help your friends.
Yeah, I think I'll resist that. And what kind of resistance do you suppose it is?
Probably insight then to like realize what is going on.
All right. Oh well.
Oh wow.
Okay.
5 stress. You roll a 1.
Do you trauma?
Yeah. This is. I trauma the last.
Can I tell you what the trauma is? Because I know what the trauma is.
Okay, what is it?
He has to go on stage. Like the reason why it really was sold that because the Devil's Bargain was what sold it, right? Right? Because at that moment they're like, Okay, fishermen come up right now onto the stage, and Sher Khatam has to go on. And it's a story set in the desert. It's a set in the desert, and there's a character called the Fisherman's. It's called the Fisherman's, the Lying Fisherman, and it's a story about a man who pretends to be a fisherman in the desert, and how a Shah has to cure him of madness, and the Shah is played by Cherubino.
Okay, excellent. So you're going to be trapped in a play with Cherubino.
And he gets to do whatever he wants to you because you're the fool.
Okay. Sure.
Good.
Mushfik travels out in like the weirdest way.
It's pretty traumatic doing this.
Yes.
I mean, the traumas on this crew include: I lived a life as a bird, and
Yes.
there's a demon that is haunting me. So I don't know that this is off-brand
Yes.
for us.
No. Clem, however, you also step
Yes.
out on stage, and you are just a bit roll, so you can leave, but you are ushered out on stage. And the
Please
moment you
come
are ushered
save
out-
me!
Yes, the moment you are ushered out on stage, you will look up across the crowd and see Bidrohi crossing blades with one of the Falling Star Sword School members on the other side of the audience.
Do I have an audience?
Oh yeah, people have
Yeah,
noticed
yeah,
this. It's
I do.
definitely distracting from there. So I'll give Clem like a moment to react, and then we'll pan the camera up to Bidrohi and Saida. What do you do as you see Bidrohi having started to sword fight one of the people you're here to talk to?
Bit part, right? Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I'm imagining chorus. You know,
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
matter if they rush off terribly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rush off stage and attempt to make their way up to Bidrohi.
Okay, excellent. I think it's high time that we see Saida though. So even though Bidrohi is crossing blades, Saida, you are still blind, still in a sword fight with Mylera, and you have
I'm
been
in trouble.
stabbed. You are
Yeah.
blinded, stabbed, and poisoned. Mylera was not disarmed of Mumtaz, and I think the logical thing for her to do, as she sees that you don't go down, as you like stay up, swinging your fucking sash around, being very scary, is she just goes like, "You cut that out, or the girl dies," because she still has a hostage.
Yeah.
That's my vice purveyor. If she dies, it's inconvenient for me mechanically. Okay.
I
Yes.
understand this. Thank you for pointing this out. I know what I'm going to do because fighting has not gone well for me. So I'm going to rely on the other tactic that I know works, which is lying. And so I'm going to like Mylera says this, and then I'm going to just like move my head in some random direction, like completely like with utter confidence. And then I'm going to say, "Oh shit, Ixis is here." And what I want to do is convince Mylera, and I hope that she has heard that there is some Ixis, Rakis, whatever, right? But I want to convince her that like some demonic influence is about to head for us. And I want to convince her now to run away.
Okay.
But
So
I want to have this happen in a way where like her running away doesn't necessarily mean that like we lose her mechanically, I guess, or something. I'm not sure, because I know you offered that to me as a desperate consequence, so it's weird to aim for that now as a success.
Well, that was running away with Mumtaz, to be clear.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Your
in
goal
that
is her
case,
to run away without Mumtaz. So
yes, correct. That is what I want. Yeah.
okay. So
Okay.
I will frame this as, I mean, it's desperate. There's no other way to do it, and it starts out as limited, unless I will offer you a special devil's bargain that will give you both +1 die and effect. And it is if you actually use the name of Ixis. When you say the names of things, that means something.
Okay. Sure. It says once I've studied one. So You know what I'm gonna do? Actually, I will take a. I will remove 2 stash from my sheet, so I'm back only now down to 2. I'm very poor. And I'll flashback to having studied the name of Ixis, because I think fictionally we need like the some backing for it, right?
Yeah, you don't have to roll for it or anything, but yes, okay. Then you're at desperate standard. You can get Mylera to totally do what you want, but you are invoking the name of Ixis. And
for sure. It's totally fine. It's totally fine, guys. Don't even worry about it. Desperate, standard.
You said not to worry, and I won't.
Good. I get 1 die from having invoked the name of Ixis.
Do you want help?
Please.
How many dice are you rolling?
I'm rolling 4, but 5 couldn't hurt in this case, because it's possible if I fail here, I just die along with your vice purveyor, which is annoying for you mechanically.
Yes. So I am the one who's
Saida invoke the name of Ixis.
I am the one who struck a bargain with Ixis. Like it was me.
Yep.
I think
so you could have just told Saida details. Yeah,
and I think like this. So this doesn't actually cost me stress because I'm still using my free stress, but it would cost me stress because the way it would work is that to say that Ixis is here, like there is a truth to this. Ixis is here. Ixis's eye is on us in some capacity, and I think
we are here. Yeah.
We are Ixis, and I think like there would be, as you speak, a leech would crawl out of your nose.
Yeah.
Fucking God.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, your crew has made a bargain with one of the aspects of Ixis, who is a demon prince. So,
Great. Yeah.
Okay. 5 dice it is. Take another bonus.
The great thing about this, by the way, is that while the leech does crawl out of my nose, because the bag is still on my head, the leech is a personal detail just for me.
Yes.
Mylera does not see it.
No, but she might feel it. So, desperate standard with 3 bonus dice now, is it? Yeah.
No, it's Devil's Bargain, my special ability, and assist. Yes, great. Yeah. Watch me roll 6 ones. It's possible. Okay, it's possible.
We are not manifesting this.
2 6s. It's like from the assist and the Devil's Bargain, presumably.
Okay, so Mylera will go like, oh shit, they have more powerful backing than I thought. She's going to drop Mumtaz. She is not going to fuck with the Uduashan demon princess, who she understands very poorly. And so she's going to drop Mumtaz and run away. The special effect you will get here, the crit bonus you will get, is that there's a leech on her, and you now have the slightly disturbing ability to attune to track her, because Ixis wants this woman dead.
Yeah, of course Ixis does.
Ixis wants you to kill the assets of House Anrakis, which are these fucking cool swordsmen.
I have another idea for how this can look, if I may. As the leech crawls out of you, you see it plop to the ground, and it kind of like lengthens and fattens, and then it just like starts scooting, chasing her, and it's just saying Mylera, 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 Mylera.
Yeah,
that's also great and disturbing. So yes, Ixis is allowing you to track her, and to be clear, your crit bonus here is Saida, since you are attuned to the supernatural, you will be able to find her as long as she remains in this general area.
Yeah, very good. This is great because that's another person whom we can track down and then convince not to fuck with us, lest we pull some shit.
Yes.
Yeah, so as she runs away, I'm going to grab the bag off my head. There is a corpse here, so the bees are arriving. So I better get out sharpish. I'm gonna pick up Mumtaz and then stumble because I'm stabbed and poisoned.
And Mumtaz, I think, has just finished having her vision, FYI. So as you pick her up, he blinks and goes like, "What? They threw Prince Katam into the wilderness when it was done." She repeats the line, which is from the opera she performed in. Weirdly, she has, I will remind you, played one of the characters in the play about Prince Katam.
She was the peacock, correct?
Yeah, she was the peacock.
So maybe what happens is that she's gonna help me away because I realized I'm stabbed and poisoned, and I'm an old woman, and it's not gonna happen. So maybe like Mumtaz is the one who, like, as I try and fail, like she's like, "Oh, we need to get you out of here."
And as she pulls you back towards the secret entrance and towards the tent, let's see Bidrohi crossing blades with Ranveer the Black Blade.
So I'm crossing blades with Ranveer and was it Ranveer or Ranveer?
Ranveer. Ranveer, yes.
Yeah, yes, you guys said it in different ways.
Well.
Yeah, it's fine. So I'm crossing blades. People are watching. I think things are. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ankia the Veiled is looking at us instead of like whatever bullshit is happening on stage.
Yes. Yeah.
But
he is, you know.
But I'm. But that's like a background detail because if I'm crossing blades with Ranveer the Blade, I don't have time to be looking at the box.
Yep.
And here's what I'm going to try to do. So I am marking my fine, elegant weapon, which is my curved sword, and I'm marking my fine buckler and blade. So in one hand, I have like this pretty nice quality 3, I guess now, right? Sword. And on the other hand, I have like the small buckler that I mentioned, and I also have like a dagger kind of like clutched underneath. So I'm like, blocking and parrying. And can I just roll fortune to see if like I'm holding my own first?
Sure. Let's do that. I want to point out that as you're doing this, there is a faint background of an aria being sung quite badly by the acrobat, going, "I must slap him with a fish many times," as Cherubino takes advantage of the situation.
Excellent.
Oh God.
So that's the soundtrack of what you're doing.
Okay, so I'm barely managing writing. So because I rolled a 4. So I'm not on top of it, but I'm not like totally on the back foot. So I think that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to say, these moves, don't you? Ranveer. I shouldn't call him Ranveer Ustad. I mean, I've been calling people like Turzan and so on, sir. You know these moves, don't you, Ranveer, sir? I've had 3 teachers in my life. Saida auntie, my father, Ramu, and you. Since watching you since I was a child. These are your moves. Aha!
Oh my God.
Yeah, he grins and he goes, "I recognize them. I recognize them well. But I don't. But watching and doing is a whole other thing altogether. Listen, I don't know why I've been warned for you, but you are not breaking in, and you are not harming the Ustad's daughter." And I think this is the play. They have been told that, like, oh no, they are a danger to Mylera. Reasons.
What do you mean, Ustad's daughter? Are you talking about what's her name? Melania?
Mylera, yeah, that's the one.
Oh yes.
I'm surprised you don't know her name.
Oh, dude, I am fighting you. Okay, not much brain work happening. And then they kind of duck a deadly blow.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what they told you or why. I mean, I don't really have much interest in Mylera. But listen, I just want. I'm really glad I'm fighting you. I've always wanted to do it all my life, and then I kind of like can we have a breather? Can we just talk for a second? And I kind of like say.
Yeah. I think he's pushing you backwards as this is happening, right? Because his whole thing is like dominating the fighting field, so he is pushing you like almost into the crowd. And
so how would you react to me wanting like a breather? Because that's like kind of being submissive, right?
Yes, I think it's an action. Put it like that, and I think it's plain risky standard. Like you can do it, and the risk is that he will get the upper hand on you somehow. He's not necessarily fighting to instantly kill you, although he could. He's not holding back, but he's not like personally invested in killing you. I am a little bit sad, incidentally, that I did not get the chance to slip in. You fight like a dairy farmer in his, conversation because it would have fit. But anyway,
it shows that he doesn't know the agricultural products of Kethris.
No.
Yep. Fair enough.
Indeed. But yes, I think you have an opportunity to like convince him to stop fighting, basically. Because again, he thought you were a threat. He was warned, and so he drew his sword and is, tried to stop the threat. And now you have an opportunity to convince him that maybe you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. I'm going to rely on this ability at some point, but I'm already going to flag it. So Gallant. Feats of finesse are impressive. +1 dice when making an intimate connection with someone you've impressed. Have I impressed him yet?
Yes, I think you have. But the twist here is I don't think you're making an intimate connection now. You're just asking for a breather.
Okay.
So you can get this further on, but for now you're just basically asking for a pause, right?
Risky
and
standard.
Maybe you have a chance to make a connection. Yes, risky standard.
Okay, cool. I will push myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5.
Okay. So, how to? Okay.
Can I propose my own risky consequence?
Yes, you can. I have one in mind too, but
okay. I was going to kind of like go on my knees and kind of like hand up my sword to him at some point.
Okay.
That can already be the thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're offering a breather, so you not having a sword is not like a big consequence, I think.
Okay.
I think, you know what? I think this is in character for Ranveer the Black Blade. He will kind of honor you in a weird way. So you can resist this being a consequence, but I think he's going to like leave a cool scar on you. I think that's
hell yeah. I got exciting scars. That's one of my items.
Yes. So the consequence here is that he will like leave a mark on your face, and he will do it to like prove that like he could take out your eye, right? But he doesn't. Maybe he couldn't quite kill you, but he's in a position to like deal you a debilitating injury, but he holds back a little bit. And so you take a level 2 harm. I think it's kind of fitting here, where he like slashes you across the forehead, like blood in your eyes. And he just kind of like, again, you can resist it, but his point here is to prove that he could have won the fight before he takes a breather.
Yeah, makes sense. And I'm just going to kind of like cry out as the sword goes. And I think there's a moment there.
Let's call it a level 1 harm, because it doesn't make sense. It's debilitating level 2. It's a level 1 harm, and then the second consequence is he gets to look cool.
Fair enough. In fact, that's part that I can make that feed into what I want to do. Because I think like there's a moment where I kind of like cry out, because I think that because that sword stroke could have taken my head off.
Yeah.
But then I realized I'm still alive. And then I kind of like pant and manage to collect my thoughts a little bit, and I look at him and I say, you know who I am. You know the Rising Moon Sword School, Cherekhatam and Saidanti. They fought your people in the ring. You know us exactly.
Yes.
And what I can tell
some people, I stay informed. He says, looking over at where Shah was before.
You do us a great honor. I am not lying to you. You have always been a personal hero of mine. I've always followed all of the Falling Star School, but you were personal hero. And I think like he probably did get that like a cigarette card, of his face. You've always been a personal hero of mine, but I've modeled my style honestly after my 3 gurus, one of which is you. And I just want to show you something. And I'm going to cry out, okay, everyone, swords up. And I'm going to call for our crew who are in the crowd to kind of like raise their swords.
Okay, and what's your...
Yeah, no, I'm going to do something afterwards, but I just want that to happen first.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. So that happens. Your cohort like reveals themselves to show that you have friends here.
Yeah, including Mona.
And then, yeah, absolutely. Mona, Murad, Pilot, and Bejal.
Okay, Bejal can hide behind someone else so that you still look cool.
Yes.
It's like not many people. Honestly, we can't really take you guys in a fight, but man, why do we need to? I am so inspired by all of you, and there's room enough in Udwasha for more than one school of badass swords people, right? Aren't you like fucking tired of like fighting these? Like you guys end up have to fighting each other to keep things interesting. And we are here now. Like just give us some breathing space. Like all this, like I don't give a shit about Mylera Klev and like whatever's going on here. Just like, can't we just chill out? You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I think you can
Does
apply
that make
your
sense?
ability.
Yeah.
Now I think you can apply your ability, and let's see a roll.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think Ranveer is probably less disinterested in politics than Shah. He probably has more of an idea of what's going on, but you still have an opportunity. And yeah, let's call it risky standard.
Okay. And I haven't like mentioned anything about politics here.
No. No, exactly.
I'm just I'm relying exactly on. So I think like in a sense I might just maybe part of the success is that I just come across as politically naive and not a threat.
Yeah. Exactly.
And standard, what would standard be? What would I get out of this?
Standard is, I mean, your ability improves, so it is to form some sort of connection with him, where he maybe it's not that intimate, but I'll have your ability apply, right? Where he goes, yeah, this is a kid who admires me. I have no reason to kill him or his family.
Yeah,
that kind of.
And would great effect be that this kind of like becomes more like the drive to like fight us kind of like goes away? For like,
I think if you want great effect, the drive to fight you goes away, and you can add him as a contact. I think let's have that as a great effect.
Okay. I think the way I'm going to get to desperate great, that I'm speaking to him, right? And I've impressed him. And then I'm going to turn to the box, and I'm going to yell out, "Ustad Ankia, same for you. There's no quarrel here.
Yeah.
Just leave it be."
Okay. Desperate great it is.
Yeah, I have addressed her. Okay, so extra dice. Is there Devil's Bargain?
That is a good question. Yes, there is a Devil's Bargain, actually. And it is... Ranveer is apparently quite perceptive, as opposed to Shah. He apparently has like a good idea of what's going on. I think he will notice that like Ixis is behind this. Like he'll notice some sign of the demon on you, and he'll go like, okay, this kid is clearly innocent and naive, but okay, the Rising Moon Sword School is involved with a rival house somehow. It's quite a bad Devil's Bargain because it means you're not totally scot-free.
Yeah.
But he'll still, he will not regard you personally as a threat, but he will be wise to what is going on.
Yeah, and we don't want to end the war. The war is so much fun.
The other reason why taking this Devil's Bargain is bad is, of course, Ixis is a stealthy demon and does not appreciate its place being revealed. And you are revealing one of its plays if you do this. I mean, maybe not wittingly, but yeah.
Ixis should have thought of that before coming to fucking Bidrohi. Do your research, man.
I think the reason it's revealed is obvious, actually. He's looking at your cool scars, and you have the leech marks that the doctor left on you.
Yes.
And he goes like, why is this naive kid pulled into... Oh, I see.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to assist me? I would like to be assisted so that we can succeed.
Yeah, would you like to
Clem is on the way.
assist?
I would love an assist.
I think. He's just a kid. Just let him be.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
Three bonus dice. Let's go.
Oh man! Great. Wow. Oh.
Yeah, but it works.
Yeah. So, in that case, how I'm going to frame it is that Ranveer he realizes that you are just a kid. He also realizes that you have been played by one of the other demon houses, that both you and he are pawns in a greater game, and he has absolutely no wish to bring any harm on you. And in fact, he kind of thinks you're cool. Like, he likes you. And one of your greatest idols is now paying attention to you. So this is awesome.
Heart sign.
Yes. The downside of this, here is the desperate consequence. Yeah, you know what? I'll hit you hard. I think we'll have to extend a little bit beyond the usual time tree. Are you okay with that? Because
it's okay.
this consequence will continue. Yeah. I think in this moment you are going to be possessed by the pus of Ixis. We know that Saida called the name. We know that it is here, and now Saida is coming back. And the demon is just going to fucking possess you and kill Ranveer.
No.
Oh,
I
That's
would
not
like
happening.
to protect him.
Are you
Prince,
sure?
you
Would
know-
you like me to protect him?
Prince, you know I
Yeah.
like being. I love role playing being possessed.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yes.
The reason I'm saying I'd like to protect him is it's my fault
Mhm.
that is happening, but also I've got an extra die. But if
Mhm.
Yeah.
Clementine, if you feel like it would be more interesting for you to protect him from that, I'm totally okay with it.
I
No,
will
I
let
like the
you both
idea.
protect him. I will let you both protect him because it's a desperate consequence. And if
Right.
only Saida protects him, it'll be downgraded. If you both protect him, if you can do it some way, I can say this can be fully resisted.
Okay,
So,
I think
starting
the
with
way
Clem.
that I'm
Okay, starting
Okay,
with Saida
please.
then. No,
Yeah,
go
start
ahead.
the
Saida.
way that I'm
Go ahead.
the way that I'm protecting him is I pulled on the demon, so I think I can feel something shift, right?
Mhm.
And as I'm in Mumtaz's arms and we're getting away, I'm going to like hold her hand, and I will say, "Not while I still fucking breathe."
Mm.
And yeah, I'm just gonna like attempt to divert Ixis away from Bidrohi.
Yeah. Absolutely. There is a very simple way to do this. I think this minor
Mhm.
demon that is involved in this is a leech demon, and it drinks blood, and you are bleeding. You can distract it with
Yeah.
your blood.
Excellent.
You can actually make
Yes.
like an offering of your own blood to it, just to like
Yeah.
tear its attention away.
Sure.
So
Yeah, it's totally fine because
uh-huh.
it's definitely not like what I will do later on is use the blood to get into the demon and then sacrifice it to my god, right? That's definitely not something that I'm gonna do.
I have
Great.
not been vampired. You have been weather waxed.
Yes,
But,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So resolve.
Yes, sure.
Okay, and I get one bonus die because protecting.
Yep.
5. So I'll take
Okay,
one stress.
so you draw the demon's attention away. Clem, how are you reacting to this? So you can see Bidrohi, I guess, having given up, having been like, okay, everything is cool, and then something supernatural happens.
Oh, there's
What
a
do you
leech,
notice
right?
and what do you do? Yeah, there's
There's a leech. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I think Clem rips the leech off. And
Okay.
given that Bidrohi's said it's pus of Ixis, dirt underneath Ixis's feet. So it's dirt under Ixis's feet. That means you're
Mhm.
fucking Severossi and just grinds it into the dirt.
Nice.
Excellent.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, make your resistance roll. I think it's resolve for Clem 2, probably.
Yeah,
This seems like
I
a
think
willpower
as
thing.
well. So I don't
Mhm.
get any bonus die. So that's only 2, which is half what Saida gets. But hey, it's fine.
Damn.
3.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I'm saving my boy.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and you're
Yes.
holding the demon in your hand. That's not good.
Yeah. No. You throw it down, you crush it, and I think Ixis, being a subtle thing, will immediately withdraw. And this is where the score is going to end. And the reason
Yeah.
that it ends is that it's what you have succeeded with is revealing to Ankia that at least she and maybe the entire Falling Star School is being played.
Yeah.
There is a plot by a rival house. They've been trying to use you as a foil. They've been trying to use the fact that like Jai Klev is obsessed with Saida to spark a war so that they can do their own bullshit. And what we will do is the next session we will have a conversation with the Ustad, with her being totally clear with that, like, okay, we have been played for fools. How do we work this? Doesn't mean that the war ends, but it means that this Ustad is aware that he should not be fighting this war.
Yeah, she just realizes that Matt is a lie, and and she has been played for food. Yeah, makes sense.
Yes.
Poor
That's a very
marionette of
deep cut
choosing.
to be clear.
Yes.
Please go on.
The downside of all this is that Ixis knows too that, I mean, this, especially from Saida, this is a betrayal in no unclear terms. Like,
It tried to possess Bidrohi.
Yes.
Only I'm allowed to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What?
After Bidrohi had
What?
agreed
What?
to become
What?
his assassin.
What?
Saida?
Mm-hmm.
What? Nothing.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
We will wrap it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well overdue time.
Yes.
And I think the last thing that happens is that I feel Clem's hands kind of like brush over my hand because like Ixis immediately withdraws, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the leech was never even there. Like time kind of changes. And I'm like, okay, Clem, but like Mushfiq Bhai will be very jealous.
Mm-hmm.
That forehead cut. Yeah. That forehead cut of yours is bleeding quite heavily, Bidrohi.
Here close the doors to the House of Endings. Those who dwell within are Zoheb, called Klow, Aadiyat, called Zoheb, Soumithri, called Tree, and Emma. I have been Prince, your host. Our city of Uduasha is based on Blades in the Dark by John Harper and Evil Hat Productions, with special thanks to Johnstone Metzger. Follow us on Twitter or support us on kofi.com/desperateattune. If you want to engage further with us, we also have a Patreon at patreon.com/desperateattune, where you will get our newsletter, extra content, and updates from Uduasha. You have brought a demon to my opera. I'm not best pleased with that, to be honest.
Demon? What demon? Sherakata, have you been bringing demons around?
No demons here.
No demons here.
And sure, Mushfiq turns out his pockets.
Yeah. She gestures at Bidrohi and she says, something did something to you. I'm not sure exactly what it was. And I think Ranveer just says in a low voice like, I noticed it too. As he says it, there is this tone of like he realizes that he was in sudden and unexpected danger.
Okay. I think this is a big moment for Bidrohi. This is a horrible moment, lots of pressure from all around, but you know what? He's forged in the fire.
Yeah.
So I think he just says, I don't know what you are all talking about, Ranveer sir and Ustad Ankia. Oh my, Ustad Ankia. And then he almost falters, but then he kind of regains his composure. I don't know what you are all talking about, but what I can say is that someone has poisoned my Ustad. And this is a big one because this is the first time I'm acknowledging Saida as Ustad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Someone has poisoned my Ustad, and someone has done something horrible to my girlfriend. You see her, that hot lady? That's my girlfriend. And someone has this. These are things that I can see. These are proven. These have happened, and I demand justice. I demand satisfaction for these things. Okay?